Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Hari, and I'm going to be talking about a new hobby that I've picked up over the past few weeks, and that's Muay Thai. I've been part of different kinds of sports and gyms, but one thing that I have not really looked into a lot is any form of combat sport. I realized that I don't have any fighting experience, and given a situation where I have to defend myself or the people that I care about, I would not be able to do it. So hence I joined Muay Thai, and it's been a fantastic experience so far. I'm roughly 24 hours in, and I've learned a lot of things, and I'm going to share what it feels like to be a beginner learning a new combat sport for the first time. So in my first few lessons, I learned the fundamentals of Muay Thai, which include how to stand, so your stance, and then how to protect yourself and maintain distance. So your placement of your hands and placement of your foot and your footwork, and how you in general move or navigate around your opponent in your ring. And then you also learn how to use your fundamental weapons, which for attacks include all of your limbs for Muay Thai. And as part of your basics, you have your jabs, crosses, and hooks. And for your legs, you have your teeps, your kicks, and your knees. So these are the absolute basic weapons that you learn as part of your attacks in your fundamental class. For your defense, you have your checks for your kicks and parries for anything that comes to your face. Once you know all these fundamentals, you can then join them up. So you have a jab, cross, and a kick, where you have like 3 different strikes. And then you can also have a jab, cross, maybe check when they kick you back or something. So these are the fundamentals that I've learned so far. In the intermediate classes, I've also been exposed to ideas such as elbows or clinching when they're in the closer ranges. I think this is where it kind of gets interesting. There are a lot of hidden fundamentals as part of the first few lessons, which when observed make a lot of intuitive sense as to why you're supposed to do those. So for instance, I've observed that balance is very key in terms of how you land a lot of your other shots, and weight transfer and using momentum to actually land a shot is way more powerful than using brute force in itself. Each attack can also be finished in a certain way that sets you up for the next attack or defense, and all this roots or goes back to the actual balance that you have after landing a strike. So that's one thing that I have observed and I'm trying to work on. Another thing is to maintain distance from yourself and the opponent and read what they're trying to do. More often than not, there are cues that come up in the surroundings, and it's easier to then navigate what potential defense or attack you're supposed to use when that cue is there. I'm trying my best to be a bit more aware when it comes to these cues, but I still need a lot of practice in this area. Now, a bit more into the problems that I've faced. The first wall that I kind of hit is my body and its mobility problem. So I can't land a clean kick yet, not because I don't understand the fundamentals of the kick, but rather my body has limited mobility when it comes to my hamstrings. They're very tight, and I'm trying my best to fix those. And no matter how much I understand the technique at this point, I think I will have to fix this fundamental skill first so that I can land my kicks properly. The same goes for teeps as well. I've realized a lot of my force doesn't get neatly transferred when I teep someone because I have a tight hamstring and very tight quads. The second wall that I've hit is the fact that when under pressure or when in the sparring ring, I typically forget what I need to do. So on the pads and on the sandbag, it's typically very easy to put up different combinations or just follow what the coach is saying. But when actually in the ring, I am still limited by the few combinations that I can do flawlessly. I believe I don't have issues with a lot of the techniques, but rather when to use these techniques effectively. I will still have to understand how to look for these cues and practice enough to make sure the counters become subconscious. The third wall that I've hit is not physical at all, and it's a bit weird. I really hesitate to land a push kick. Planting my foot onto a living person, pushing them away feels very disrespectful to do, and it's something that I'm trying to unlearn because it's the teep as a tool is very effective to ensure I maintain distance and keep people away. At this point, I've been improving or growing very fast, in my opinion. The gains are very huge in the first few hours, and I'm very grateful to have a lot of people in my class who can help me. I was completely clueless about what fighting is and what it has, and now I can at least understand what battles I can pick and what I can't. Am I confident enough to defend myself? Not yet, but I'm aware enough to know what threats are and how to assess a situation. And I think at the moment I'm also in the good part of the climb. In the past few weeks, I have been exposed to different kinds of ideas, and every class teaches me new things. Another core learning for me is that you should never underestimate anyone or judge a book by its cover. Well, it's very obvious on like how the saying goes, but in reality, when I've actually come face to face with someone who's 13 years old and extremely strong, or someone who's 65 years old and still very strong, and still got my ass handed, and I've learned a lot from these people specifically over the people of my own age. So, as for the first problem, which is my mobility, I am trying to come up with a specific mobility routine for myself that I am trying and testing out. And when I'm roughly 5 to 10 hours in, or when I see any tangible improvements in my mobility, I will update on how that goes and how useful that is. And yeah, that's basically the end of this video. Well, if you stuck along for all this while and you enjoyed this video, I really appreciate your support, and I will catch you guys in the next video.